Hey, it's the Miata DIY guy, and today we're going to show you how to install a 5X shifter rebuild kit provided by Moss Miata. The tools you will need are a 10mm socket and ratchet, Phillips head screwdriver, small flathead screwdriver, some razor blades, WD-40, some kind of fluid sucker like a soap dispenser or turkey baster, and paper towels.
To begin the shifter rebuild kit, you first need to get your shift knob off and take apart your center console. And next you'll be removing the 4 Phillips head screws, 2 on either side, 1 in the center console by the cup holder and 2 in the glove box. Once you have all the screws out, it just takes a little bit of force to get the center console out. Now if you're like me and you have power windows, you will need to disconnect the power window plug, which is right up by the shifter boot. Take out your center console and set it aside. So the next process to remove your upper boot is to remove these 4 10mm bolts. Once you have the 4 bolts off, the upper boot should slide off relatively easily. As you can see here, that mine is actually quite ripped. So we're going to definitely use the replacement upper boot that was provided in the kit.
The next step is to remove the 3 10mm bolts holding the lower boot to the shifter turret. And you can see here, my car has about 200,000 miles. The lower boot is cracked and destroyed. We are definitely going to be using the new piece provided in the kit.
Okay, so the next step will be working with the shifter outside of the car. So as you can see, this is a definite worthwhile service for your car, your Miata, if it's over 100,000 or 200,000 miles. My bushing is actually missing. It is more than likely in pieces inside the turret, but this is definitely not good for the performance of your car.
So we will be removing the lower boot, the anti-rotation bushing, as well as the upper change bushing and washer.
To remove the boot, you'll need to use a razor blade.
Provided in the kit is a new lower boot, so you can just cut this one and install the brand new one.
Slide the broken pieces off, and then we're going to be taking off these bushings as well.
To remove the anti-rotation bushing, all you need is a flathead screwdriver and insert it lightly and sort of wiggle it back and forth till it pops off. So we just cleaned all the old gunk off the shifter stock with some WD-40. We will now begin the reassemble process. First, we have to grab the anti-rotation bushing and install it. Then, the upper change bushing and tabbed washer. Don't confuse it with the lower change bushing. The difference is the small notch you can see here. This gets installed in the turret housing. Once the washer and upper change bushing are attached, slide them down the shifter stock. Next, we will be installing the lower boot. It's best to use some oil so that it slides down easier.
This part can be a little difficult. You want to make sure this rubber part sits below like that.
Once this is done, you can attach the copper bushing, but it won't snap in like the rubber OEM one. You can hold on to the copper bushing for later if you like. We are now going to install the lower change bushing. The notch lines up with the little dowel pin in the turret housing. To remove the fluid from the shifter turret, all you need is a little soap pump dispenser. It's best to add some fresh fluid to offset the old fluid if it's degraded over time, and eventually all will pump out. We are going to be refilling the turret with Royal Purple Max Gear Oil 70-weight 90. It's not necessary to use this high of grade. Roughly you need about 2 to 3 ounces to fill the turret. Next, we're going to slide the rebuilt shifter stock down into the shifter hole and reattach the 3 10mm bolts. Once you have your lower boot attached, you can now slide your upper boot over the shifter stock. It's best to spray it down with some WD-40 so it slides down easier. Once you've slid the upper boot down, reattach the 10mm bolts. And now you're going to reattach your center console and shifter knob. Driving my 1993 Miata with this shifter kit feels amazing. It makes the car feel almost brand new. The shifts are precise and snappy, and I would highly recommend this kit to anybody with a high mileage Miata. And that sums up the shifter rebuild kit by 5X Racing, provided by Moss Miata. If you need any parts like the ones in this video, head over to mossmiata.com. All these parts are available there, as well as any parts you may need from a 1990 to the current generation.